had to light up because we on the Elves today. And these motherfuckers is crazy. I'm sorry, excuse me for cussing y'all, but like, we finna get real with the Elves, okay? There's a reason why I waited till tonight. And just in case I got any sponsors, it was Mullen, okay? Mullen. I had to light up Mullen because we gotta cleanse the system, people. Okay? Because what are the Elves in charge of? Cleansing. And what does Mullen do? Cleanse the system, okay? So if you're gonna smoke the whatever, make sure you mix it with the little Mullen on there, okay? And it will cleanse out your system, cleanse out all that extra gunk in the young. So like when you're coughing and you're sneezing and all the mucus is coming out, that was leftover stale mucus that wasn't moving. And that's what was getting you unhealthy and all that. And guess what? That's what the Elves do, okay? They take the unnecessary stuff and filter that stuff out. That's what the Elves are all about, okay? They're all about healing. They're all about doing what's best on a calculating, literally, they're the stomach, okay? They're in charge of the stomach, all right? These Elves are in charge of the stomach system. That's the second brain, all right? Trust me, it really is, okay? First, we got a thinking brain up here, up top, right? But the second brain is in the stomach. And I promise you, if you're not one of them enlightened folks and woke folks, I promise you the second brain is really the one that's in charge, okay? How many people do you know, especially females, that are led by their hunger, okay? That's them Elves, okay? The spirit of your hunger, Elf, all right? So what's that tell you? Right off the bat, these Elves are some big bag behavior lovers, but they put it away. They hide it. You'll never tell because a lot of them are skinny and whatnot, as you can tell by the celebrities that was flashing on there, okay? Now, what do these elf-like creatures value? They value relationships, okay? That's it. They value relationships, and all their relationships are very calculating. I know that sounds wild and crazy, but it is. It's like they value family, they value the relationships, and based on how the relationship going, that's how their money goes, okay? So elves are definitely... when they get into relationships, it's a hit or miss for them, okay? Now, how do they speak? Very intensely, okay? These are calculating, deep, intense creatures, okay? They are critical and calculating, okay? They know how to blend in the room, but if you piss them off, you ever piss off an elf? You know who the elves? They will let you know, and they will cut deep. They will find the one thing you don't want no one to know, and boom, like magic, okay? These are the supreme talkers. In fact, if you know any elves, when you're around them, you have their secrets, they'll unalive me. They'll unalive me if they find out this. But their secret is, have you ever seen the TV show Lucifer on Netflix? What was Lucifer power? That's the elf. Okay, that's it. If you ain't seen it, you don't need to see it. But if you don't get it, you don't need to get it. But if you get it, that's the elf power. Just letting you know. So, moving on. What is their hidden comforts all about? Their hidden comforts is their knowledge. Okay, they love learning. They love learning and learning and using it and calculating events, okay? Getting in debates and just proving themselves right again. They love it. You're right is like sexting to an elf. You're right. Sex words, okay? But until, they get over that, and then it ain't even about being right. It's about, did you get the point? But for the most part, saying you're right to your elf friend, it's like porn, okay? It's like porn for their ears. Anyway, moving on, their children, okay? Their children are very innovative people. Their children, definitely outside the box thinkers. You'll never be able to figure them out. They have a wild side. They're also sometimes lazy, but also full of energy, very, very knowing how to work the crowd. But also, they can't stand the crowd because it's draining to them type individuals. Obligations, yeah. They have obligations to their kids. Their kids are one of those just out rebellion type people. Very good at routine, very intelligent individuals. just you gotta be careful, okay? Because then as far as their obstacles, they're ran by the most ingenious, out of the box thinkers. Because like I said, these elves are batshit crazy people. And again, excuse me for cussing, but I just can't say it enough. Like you know, Jada Pinkett Smith is an elf. Okay, that should be enough said. The mind games, the mental capacities that the elves that's why they're in charge of the obstacles in your life and why they're in charge of your digest, because their mental capacity of having all these windows open. All right, now imagine how their enemy gotta be, and that's their obstacles. So imagine who's in charge of the obstacles for the people that's originally in charge of the obstacles. Wild, right? Relationships, the devil. Okay, the devil themselves, because the elves think of themselves as holy individuals. So the opposite of the holy individuals got to be the hellions, and that's who they date. Okay, but if we were to ask the hellions, they would be thinking like they're the angels. So you get it. Their topsy-turvy world is really quite complicated being an elf. Like, this is the original house of the obstacles. So there's going to be obstacles trying to understand these people. All right, what is their alter ego? Their alter ego is warriors. Okay, these elves, even though they're magical, dope dealing creatures. Okay, nature's dope dealers. All right, nature's assassins. Okay, these elves turn into warriors with a blink of a hat. Okay, Zelda. Think Zelda. Okay, that's enough. All right, he had all the contraptions. He was mixing potions. He was slaying whatever he was slaying, but he was slaying and he was saving hoes. Okay, he did it all. Zelda is a true elf. Okay, what brings them fortune? What brings them fortune? Music. Okay, I'm just gonna keep it simple. Music, good food, overseas traveling. That brings them good fortune in life. Okay, that's their obligation. In fact, it ties into their obligation. Their obligation is to make sure they travel and communicate. Pretty much, like I said, we saw a lot of musicians. Even when they are actors, they all still did some musicians, because music is profitable for these elf-like creatures. It is what it is. Like I said, also short distance traveling. Their friends tend to be very moody individuals, but very comfortable individuals. They love to serve. They love to nurture. And that's what these elves need. Okay. They love to be nurtured. That's what they need. It's a love-hate relationship with it, but it is what it is. And then as far as their subconscious, they know they're kings. Okay. They know they're queens. They know they rule. They're really the rulers. Okay. Because like I said, the second brain is really the main brain in charge. Okay. And that's their subconscious. So they need to be alone in order to get their mind right, get their vibe right, raising up high and whatnot. Okay. These are these elf-like creatures. I'm telling you, wild. And I done gave way too much sauce in if you go through this again, you will realize like you learned a lot. Okay. Music, they love to talk, they got special abilities. Think Lucifer. If you ain't seen the show, just watch the show, okay? And you'll get it. Okay, it starts with a question.